Welcome back everybody to Veve Gems, where you get periodic videos on top quality NFTs on the Veve app, which I call Veve Gems. Today I will show you this week's top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, along with the portfolio tracker. And this is not financial advice. For those of you interested in more details and the key assumptions and the methodology used in arriving to these top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, you can always check my video on July 30th, 2022, where you can see all of these details. This table shows the cost in gems per MCP point. We can see good value in number 2 on the list, Tales to Astonish, number 13, both the uncommon and the rare, 11.8 gems and 6 gems. Then number 5 on the list, Nick Fury, with the rare having 6.44 gems as a cost per MCP point. And moving down the list to number 10, Avengers number 4, with 10 gems per MCP point for the rare variant. This table shows the percentage supply available on the market compared to the total edition size for each comic. If we look at number 2 and 3 on the list, we can see there's still a very high percentage. The reason for which both of these comics, Tales to Astonish number 13 and Amazing Fantasy number 15, were dropped just last week. That's why we see a lot of supply still available on the market. And this also can tell us there's some opportunity there because there's still more supply. That means prices are affordable. And when the supply diminishes, these prices are expected to rise. This table shows the upside potential in percent based on the common, variant, edition size, and current price. The key comics that stand out on this list is number 1, number 4, and number 9 on the list. So for Marvel Comics number 1, the uncommon has a potential upside of 700%, and the rare has a potential upside of 744%. For Fantastic Four number 1, 779% potential upside and 773% potential upside for the rare. And going down to Amazing Spider-Man number 1, we have 769% potential upside for the uncommon and 322% upside potential for the ultra rare. For those of you interested in the secret rare comics, only 3 on this list have a positive potential upside. The best upside potential is number 7 on the list, Fantastic Four number 12, with 27%. Then comes Sergeant Fury, number 5 on the list, with 22% upside potential. And finally, number 2 on the list, Tales to Astonish number 13, with 4% upside potential. This table shows the current prices of the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve. The ones with the darker green shade are the more affordable prices. So number 2, number 5, number 7, and number 10 on the list stand out with regard to this analysis parameter. This table shows the total editions minted for these top 10 comics on the list. If we look at the last column, we see the total editions, and looking at the first column, we see the number of editions under the common variant. Then the next column, the number of editions for the uncommon variant, then the rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. The factors on the right side of the table show you how rare is that variant compared to the common variant. So looking at number 1, Marvel Comics number 1, the uncommon is 8 times more rare than the common. In other words, there is 8 commons for each one uncommon, and there are 16 commons for each rare. There is 20 commons for each ultra rare and 80 commons for each secret rare. So this table will give you some perspective of how rare each variant is compared to the common mint size. So this table shows you the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve for this week, which is week number 3. And you can see the variants and the prices. So if you were to purchase these top 10 comics this week, it would cost $1,293.38 or gems. Now for the collector portfolio, as we know, in this portfolio we only add new comics that make it to the top 10 list. So this week we have 3 new comics that made it to the top 10 list, and if you purchase those, the total cost would be $952.43. This table shows the performance of the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, which was selected last week, and you can always find details in last week's video. So comparing last week's prices to this week's prices, there is an increase in total of 4.7 gems, or an increase of 1.4% in this investor portfolio. This table shows you last week's collector's portfolio performance, and as you can see, in total the prices changed by 6.49 gems since last week, or 4.7% increase on average. This table shows the cumulative performance for both the investors as well as the collector's portfolio since we started tracking on week 1. So the cumulative change for the investor's portfolio is 3.1% increase, and the total investment was $812.81. For the collector's portfolio, the cumulative increase is 4.4%, and the total invested was $619.57. This table shows Veve's social media stats over the last 3 weeks. For Twitter, we have lost 166 members last week but gained 213 members this week. So a total of 47 members increase over the last 3 weeks. There is no change on Discord. For Facebook, last week we gained 65 members, and this week we gained 94 members, so we have a total increase of 159 members since we started tracking on week 1. For Instagram, last week we lost 493 members, and this week we lost 455 members. So that's close to 1,000 members lost over the last 3 weeks, which is not a very good sign. This table shows Veve's ImmutaScan stats on the blockchain. With regard to tokens minted, last week 37,386 tokens were minted, and this week 39,560 tokens were minted. So that's a total of 76,946 tokens minted over the last 3 weeks. Moving on to the unique owners. Last week we added 1,181 unique owners, and this week we added 559 owners, for a total of 1,740 new owners over the last 3 weeks. And finally, if we look at the TMO ratio, which is the tokens minted to unique owners ratio, we can see it went up from 10.8 to 10.84 last week and 10.89 this week. What this ratio means is, for each owner, there used to be 10.8 NFTs 3 weeks ago, and now it's 10.89 NFTs this week. So that's quite an increase, and as long as this ratio keeps creeping up, you can expect that the markets could go sideways or downwards, unless Veve really carefully manages this ratio, since we are officially in a recession and the market sentiment is negative during this period. Here is a snapshot of my collection on the Veve app. You are welcome to follow me on the app by searching the Avengers logo edition number 100. It is under the Disney Golden Moments brand. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. As you see in my previous videos, I always respond to each and every question. If you got value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can keep informed every week when I post updates. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.